Hello, this is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, or iHeartRadio. This is Dylan Miller on Daily Dose of Dylan. We got good stuff today. I'm going to do a double tomorrow. That's my plan. But today I'm just going to do a single. Normal podcast. And, alright, let's kick it off. So, tonight is actually game 2, but, game 1 I'm going to talk about right now. CP3 dropped 32. And again, what I normally do with takes that go my way is I get positive. My positive takes are always the right ones. And then after I get positive, I go realistic. Like with Dak Prescott. I was saying, you gotta pay him. He's a good quarterback. Then they paid him a little too much. Then I was realistic. So I was positive. Now I'm gonna be realistic. So CP3 and the Suns. CP3 is probably going to want a new deal. Alright. I think he's up for a deal. So if he... Alright, so he's up for a deal this year. He's in free agency. He'll probably re-sign with the Suns, knowing him. Well, think about this, Chris. On Chris's perspective. If they win it, these young players, sometimes they lay off a bit. You know, they win it, and then it's like, I'm going to tell you right now, the Bucks, even though it's amazing that they rounded everyone back up and got everyone back, I don't know if they're going to be... I think the Chiefs win next year. You know why? Because you're not as hungry to win anymore. Like, it's a lot easier to stay motivated when you haven't won a title, because social media throws that at you. Like, I think that's why Giannis was so good in the playoffs this year, because they started to throw it at him, like, hey, you ain't winning, you're not winning in the playoffs. He performed this year. Because people started to throw it at him, you know? Like, 2019 was like, okay, he's still young. And then last year was like, okay. Now everyone started throwing it at him. And then this year, he played very well in the playoffs. But, if the Suns win it, they're not going to be as hungry to win anymore. I mean, CP3 might be hungry for more because he's older and he wants to win more. But the younger players might not. So I don't know if this is the place. I mean, you can sign somewhere else. If you're worried about that. I mean, and this is just a theory of mine, Like, I think that next year, some of the guys in the Bucks are not going to be as hungry. But people on the Chiefs are going to be hungry. And they sign other players that haven't won a ring yet. So they're going to be looking for that. And think about this, CP3, this is from the Suns' perspective. I like CP3. And if he asked to re-sign for 2 more years, I would definitely sign him. 3 more years, I'd have a couple meetings, maybe lean more towards re-signing him. 4 years, I'd probably let him walk. Because, I mean, how much longer is he going to be the face of the team? I mean, Booker seems to have hit his prime. Like, it looks like he's, there now. And CP3, even though he's playing one of the best years so far, he's turning 37 next year. And it's not like he's... I don't know. It's hard. I would probably consider letting him walk if it's 4, though. 2 or 3 I can go for. but 4 years? I don't know, CP. I have to let you walk. And I like him. I mean, I'm just trying to be realistic here. Alright, so the match was 2 nights ago. And during that, Barkley called Tom Brady the greatest athlete of all time. Now, it depends on how you look at it. Like when you talk about the greatest athlete of all time, it really depends how you look at it. Like, and the same thing goes for, like, the football GOAT, you know? Like, some people will say Jerry Rice, some people say Tom Brady, you know? It depends on how you look at it there. Like, basketball is the only one where you can actually compare the players. Because all the players have the same goal, the same... Like, it's kind of like a positionless sport almost. Like, it's rarely you get a team that's actually, like, where everyone has a defined role. It's mainly positionless. And that's why players are compared. Like, there's a reason in like, MLB, like, pitchers are compared to other pitchers. Like, you don't see them comparing pitchers to hitters. And, like, in the NFL, you don't see people comparing quarterbacks to defensive ends. You know, they compare each other to their positions. So, I mean, I guess you could say, like, the team, like, when it comes to team, Brady's the GOAT. Like, he's as an athlete, and I mean, some people just think, like, the best athlete ever is the most athletic. Like, maybe, like, a Bo Jackson or, like, the LeBron, like, athletic freaks. And, I mean, Brady has more athleticism than given credit for. He's 6'4", 225. He was drafted by a baseball team. He was drafted by another sport. You know, that, I mean, he has some athleticism. But it really depends on how you look at it. Like, best athlete ever. You know, I mean, Bill Russell, think about this. The 2 years Bill Russell didn't win, oh, sorry, by the way, earlier, CB3 actually has a player option. So he can sign the player option. Anyway, back to my point. Bill Russell. First of all, he won 11 rings. Alright, he won 11 rings. And, one of the years where he didn't win a ring, I think one of the 2 years that he didn't win a ring, he was injured. You know, only played 48 games. So he could have had 12 rings when you think about it. You know, so I mean, who is the team athlete coach? Is it Brady or... It really depends on how you look at it. You know, it's all about how you look at it. It's not about, I don't know. You can't really compare the two. Like, when you talk about, like, sports history, can't really compare players because they have different goals. Alright. So Giannis apparently thought he'd be out for the rest of the year after his knee injury, and, you know, I've said this, like, I mean, younger players recover quicker. I mean, it's... pretty simple, you know? You know, if this were LeBron, he'd probably be out for the rest of the season. And, you know, now I think the series is a little different now. So I got the Bucks winning tonight and winning Game 3. Then I have the Suns winning Game 4, Bucks taking Game 5, and then the Suns winning Game 6 and 7. So I have pretty big dreams. It's hard to get to a 7-game series. We haven't had that since 2016. And I think we only had it twice in the last 10 years. Yeah, only twice in the last 10 years. 2013, 2016. And it actually, being down 1-0, I can argue is a bigger deal than being down 2-0. Only 6 teams in the last 20 years have won after losing game 1. The Lakers in 2001, Heat in 2006, Mavs in 2011, Heat in 2012, Heat in 2013, and then the Cavs in 2016. So it's really tough to come back from a 1-0 deficit. All right, N'Keal Harry of the Patriots. Now this shouldn't be that big a deal, but N'Keal Harry can be not a bad receiver. I mean, I think this is interesting actually that he requested a trade from the Pats. So he's actually not a bad player. He's one of the stats I'm big on is drop percentage. Last year it was 1.8. He only had 1 drop, and last year he played 14 games. He was it's not like he played like 1 game and his drop percentage was like 1.8. He can do well. He doesn't really drop that much. Let's look at Davante Adams, consensus best receiver in the league. All right, best receiver in the league, apparently. His drop percentage last year was 0.7. That's not far off of N'Keal Harry's. So I'm not saying Harry can be a freak in nature, but he can be a good addition. But the Patriots just isn't the place for him, So I think he can do better elsewhere, All right. So I'm going to go back to the game 1 on Tuesday. So think about this. In the last 20 years, here are the 12 NBA stars that have won the championship. All right, ready? CP3, or he didn't win one yet, but if he does, you got CP3, Kawhi, KD, Steph, LeBron, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Kobe, Shaq, Dirk, Dwayne Wade, Paul Pierce. Those are 12 players that have won the championship in the last 20 years. Those are the 12 best players. Dispute with me on that. But those are the 12 best players. Pierce, Dirk, Wade, Shaq, Kobe, Duncan, KG, LeBron, Steph, KD, Kawhi, CP3. It's about leadership, and the reason I don't have like a Lillard there or Allen Iverson there is like you also have to be able to like lead yourself, in the right direction. Like, Dame Lillard he's been in a mediocre situation for 9 years. LeBron was in a terrible situation for 7. KD was in a similar position. His team was good,